What's going on, gentlemen? Today we're going to talk about why you need a holding company. Why you need to establish yourself some asset protection. We're going to make the assumption that you have a business, it's up and running, you're making sales, you're making money, and maybe perhaps you're a sole proprietor. Let's say you're making at least $10,000 to $20,000 per month, somewhere around there. Now, why would you need a holding company? And first and foremost, what is a holding company? How does a holding company help you? The first thing is, a holding company is a company that is exclusively designed to collect money. That is its primary purpose. No other purpose. It's designed to collect money. Now, how do you get money to that holding company? You have a subsidiary, or what I like to call a baby LLC, which is the operating company. You can have 1 up to 10 up to 20. Probably 10 is the max. Then you have to create another holding company. But that's like super advanced stuff. So you've got your holding company and you have your operating company. Now, you must form your holding company first. Create a company later, but it's a little sloppy and it can be invalidated by the Internal Revenue Service or a lawyer. So just to keep it clean, you establish your holding company first. And why you want to establish your holding company is age. You know you can sell a holding company, right? You can have a company that can be 5, 6, 7 years old, and that can actually be worth money to someone because you have tax forms, you have the registrations up to date and all this. That actually can be worth a little cash to someone. You create the holding company. Then through the holding company, you organize the operating company so they're linked. You cannot go out and create a holding company and then create this separate LLC and then somehow write money between them. It doesn't work that way, because then you would have to file 2 tax forms for each company. So you don't really want that. Now, you've got all that done. Why does this make sense for you? Number one, if you were single before you got married, I know, and you actually didn't do this, then you did this after you got married, guess what? That is a property created during the marriage. That's a marital asset, even if her name is nowhere on it. She has legal claim to your company. Now, since you're a smart bear and you're a smart cookie, you're creating this stuff before you get married. Now, see, that's a whole nother ball game. You create the holding company, you create the operating company before you get married. Because anything that is created during the marriage is going to be treated as marital assets. Now, if you are broke Dick Danny, a penniless Priscilla, and you have this, but there's no money there, she's not going to try to come after it. She's like, why do I want 50% of nothing or 50% of $100? That makes no sense. So you're not going to worry about her coming after you for that. However, if you start this business before you get married and you have it as a sole prop and it's making money, and then, let's say it makes $1 million, $2 million a year after you married, and then you go ahead and formally organize this, guess what? She has legal claim to that. Yes, she does. So this is why it's very important that you form this stuff. And the reason I'm talking about marriage and marital assets is anything that is an asset or produces income that is gained, formed, organized during the marriage is a marital asset, which means, let's say you and Peggy Sue split ways. Well, what's going to happen is Peggy Sue can legally lay claim to your company that she had nothing to do with, but because you were legally married, she has rights. And she's like, okay, well, I want this, and all right, and you don't have the money. The courts can force you to sell that company to pay her off. I am not kidding. And I'm saying this because for most people, this is never going to be an issue. Most people don't have assets. Most people don't have a situation where Peggy's coming. It's just not going to be in the cards. But for you, my dear man, my exceptional hustler, this will be a problem for you. And you won't have anyone to talk to because you more than likely, unless you're running with a well-heeled circle, then you'll have plenty of people to talk to. But if you're like the most successful person in your clique, they won't understand. And they'll be like, well, just pay her the money. Get rid of her, get you another one. With little regard to the fact of how much that you had to put out to create that. It doesn't matter. All right, so that's the first scenario. Second scenario, why you need a holding company and operating company. For business credit, to properly develop business credit to get to those big boy lines. You're going to need that. The third reason is peace of mind and sanity. Currently, I have a situation, family court situation, and because I have this network in place, she can't get at any of the money that's in that corporation. Let me say this again. Neither she nor the courts can get at any money in this corporation. This is the legal structure. Now, why does this legal structure work? Because holding companies in corporate law are stronger than family law. They're not going to invalidate these things. Say you have a pension. O.J. Simpson had a pension, right? When the Goldmans sued him, they couldn't attach his pension. There are certain things that are off the limits during these type of actions. Gifts, pensions, trust funds, all kinds of things that are off the table legally. You don't have to run, you don't have to hide, you don't have to do any of these nefarious things to protect yourself, because legally she has no right, titles, or anything to this money. And this is why it is to the utmost importance to you to form this stuff, to start organizing your business like this before you get married, before you have kids, before you do any of these actions. Because once you have the kid, or once you get married, unless you really know the law very well, you're screwed. You're absolutely, fundamentally screwed. Because here's another reason that you want to do this. The average man walking into a family court situation has a job. And the family courts are ill-prepared and ill-equipped to deal with business owners. It is commonly known in the family court arena that business owners are the hardest ones to get alimony out of, child support out of, because as a business owner, you control your income. Let me say that again. As a business owner, you control your income. That's on you. No one else can tell you what to do with your business. No one else can do that. So this is why it's very, very important that you start to think like this before you get married, before you have kids. Because socially, we have been induced and ingrained that having kids out of wedlock is cool. It's really cool. You have a lot of famous couples who are having kids and not married, and it's just a thing to do. But see, once that woman has a child with you, she legally, for all practical purposes, is your wife. There is no marriage ceremony, but legally, you create an obligation unless you structure it a certain way between this woman, and legally she has access to your income. I'm being quiet because a lot of people don't really understand what happens. I knew in my situation what was happening, and this is why I was so proactive. This is why I, just a word to the wise, if someone's taking you to child support court and you get served, do not fail to answer that. I don't care if you know what you're doing or not. Answer it. Ask for a continuance if you need to get a lawyer, because what happens is once that machinery starts, it is hard to stop. It is hard to halt, because the machinery is designed to extract wealth out of you and to pass it on to someone else. I'll get into this more on my Disruptive Male channel, so be sure to subscribe to that. But